Thank you, everyone, for putting this all together, and everyone being here on the West Dam again and allowing this all to work out. I want to understand, and I have a sense we all want to bring the vortex being very general, and to me, I was recognizing it being a feeling place. And we've talked about, Abraham and I, about being physical. And lately I've been much more physically fit and physically active than I have been in a long time. And I have a sense that the day-to-day activity for my partner and I in our business, and maybe a little bit of our business getting bigger than our business, is like driving a car. And unlike Esther, who is knowing the speed it can take around the curve, we slip and slide a bit around that fast curve. I think day to day in our business aspect of it. And I want to make that bridge. I want to massage the bridge between feeling good and that vortex, because I have the sense of, I put all the stuff in my vortex, and I've talked about this and recognizing that the path to getting all that stuff is feeling good. And I'm really getting understanding at a deeper level.
The path to getting all that stuff is feeling good, but the reason to get the stuff is to feel good.
And that's what I'm really getting a deeper understanding of. There is, the desire is to feel good and thrilling and engaged. And then there's this day-to-day life where there's a lot of things that get put in motion. Because I know I jumped into some stuff that was in my vortex, business related, whether it's property or cars or, or business expansion, and all of it's amazingly wonderful, and I recognize that these are things that are working really well, and they were in my vortex, and I recognize them, and I understand that there's a little bit of stepping into the action, not as pre-paved as perhaps could have been.
And in today's terminology, we're calling that filling in your own grid.
Exactly.
Not allowing it to fill in, but sort of filling it in through action.
So so how do we understand you see the stuff that's coming in the vortex because it's a feeling place and it's general, and things are coming into the grid.
Well, what's in the vortex is really specific.
Yeah.
What's in the vortex is really specific. The question is, how ready is your vibration for the specifics of that which it is? Because you've put it there and let's use the word quantum leap, one quantum leap at a time. Life has caused you to put the things into the vortex, the concepts, the decisions, the intentions, the specifics, the choices, the desires. You put them there incrementally and individually. And because law of attraction is what it is, let's start another place. You're really going to like this. We're going to go to a whole new place in understanding here. And we know this is a question that's been on some of your minds for a while. So how can contrast, knowing what I don't want, how can it produce a pure desire? Mm-hmm. Well, if you'll think of a sound waveform,
up and down, right?
There are two parts to it, and they are incredibly equal. The waveform, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want. If you sort of know what you don't want, you sort of know what you do want. If you really know what you don't want, you really know what you do want. That's that focus that we're talking about. So you're launching these rockets of desires in bursts of quantum leapiness.
Okay.
Let's just go there for a moment. Now, you know how we just said quantum leaps are never very comfortable? Well,
yes.
That strong contrast is never very comfortable, but it's brief. Because you can't hold yourself there and there at the same time.
Right.
In other words, one of those is dominant, and usually it's the knowing what I don't want. So you launch the rocket, but it's really specific because some really exaggerated experience caused you to launch it. And so now you've launched all of these rockets, and the source within you, who is vibrationally tuned to always what you want, to never to the absence of it, every time you identify it with just a split second of a glimmer of knowing, the source within you says, got it. Stable as a rock. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I'll hold the vibration of this for you until you're ready for what you've asked for. So here's this vortex that's spinning. We should say spinning at a very high frequency.
Yes.
At a very high frequency. everything, not just that you want, but everything that you have become, everything that you've become.
And it's feelings, emotions too, right? These great
Well,
emotions as well as the specific
the
board and
emotions,
nails.
the emotions are the indicator, because you're the translator of the emotion, which means the emotion that you feel is your indication of your relationship with this and where you stand with it. And so if you and you are right there together, then the emotion is one of exhilaration. But if your inner being is here, which it is, and you're here, then the emotion is one of discord and dissatisfaction. Follow us just for a little bit here. So you've launched the rockets, and the vortex is incredibly specific, more specific to the detail about everything you want than you could ever describe. We've never known anyone to accurately describe with words what's in the vortex.
Absolutely.
So here you are, becoming more sensitive to your relationship with that vortex. That's where your emotions come in. So now you want access to what's in there, but it's a really high frequency. And there's stuff you really want that you don't have, and your awareness that let's just say money, let's say there's a fortune in there and you're not living it. Let's say there's a fortune in there and money feels tight. We're just extrapolating from something that's rather common on your planet. So there's discord. What's in the vortex is not going to change. So if anything's going to bring this into harmony, it's got to be the raising of your vibration. So let's say you decide that you're going to think about this just like it's in the vortex, but you can't see it. It's sort of like looking out into the fog, because it's vibrational. It hasn't manifested yet. So you're going to feel your way to it. Now we're going to step away from that just for a moment. We're coming right back to it by describing, as Esther's going around these corners, she went at 40, and then she went at 42, and then she went at 45, and then she went at 50, and then she went at 53, and then she went at 55, then she went at 55, and then she went at 60, and then she went at 63, and then she went at, until the most she's done on this corner that is posted at 40 is 80. So far, so good. So far, so good. Now, in the moment that she feels that she's losing some control, she'll say, okay, I've now tested the limits of who I am and what I've got in this situation. In other words, you were talking about sort of sliding around those corners, and we say, so that's when you slow it down. You don't keep going. In other words, the way that you understand your relationship is by feeling your way, and the way you understand your readiness for what's in your vortex is by feeling your way. You don't assume that the vortex is wrong. It's never wrong. So every time you have negative emotion, it means only one thing. You're not ready for something you want. What is it? Doesn't matter. You're not ready for it. But what is it? What is it that I'm not ready for? Doesn't matter. You're not ready. Well, Abraham, how can I be ready for something that I'm not ready for if you won't even tell me what it is that I'm not ready for? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're not ready for. You've just got to slow it down. You've just got to find a way. You've just got to find a way to allow yourself. So that's why we're saying that's when you go general. You ratchet it back to your more general place, and you gain your stability, and then you go again.
So that's getting back into the action piece, because part of it feels like, are you sliding, because of this big project we took on at work, am I sliding around the corner? I can slow it down from the 40 miles an hour to 38 or whatever. Or is it, have I step off the cliff in the Grand Canyon? I have to wait till I hit the bottom or not? And it's that sense we talked about redoing the deal. You get in the action saying, I know some of these things are in my vortex. I know I've put them there. And I think I've stepped up a little bit on the edge of the vortex, so it's kind of a bumpy ride. I don't know if I can slow it down enough.
But you see, you're missing the point that we're making. And a lot of people are, so we're just going to make it louder.
Thank you.
And that is, the whole point of this is not to go faster.
Yeah.
The whole point of this is not to get what's in the vortex. The whole point of it is to have a fun ride.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the whole point of it.
It's gotta be fun. Right. Okay.
That's the whole point of it. So if feeling like you're going over the edge of the cliff is fun, it isn't. So if feeling like going over the edge of the cliff is fun, it isn't. If feeling like going over the edge of the cliff is fun, then keep pushing it. Really, what's the point? What's the point of any of this? Does this world really need another magazine? Does it really need another empire somewhere? Does it really need another television network? Really? Does it really need that? Does it really need another book? Another book? Does it really need another book? You'd be very well to go back and read the old good books. Does it really need another book? Does it really need another statue?
Yeah.
Does it really need that? Or is what this world needs, wants, is the exhilaration of writing a book.
Yeah.
The exhilaration of molding a statue. The exhilaration of building a business. That's why you're doing it. You're doing it for the fun of it, for the feeling of it, for the joy of it. It's the molding of this. You see, we love that you're building this business, and we love that you have all of these projects, and we love the value that you are to the world, and we love the interplay that you have with all of your employees and all of your patients and clients. We love all of that. All of that is meaningful, but none of it is meaningful at all in relationship to the experience of expressing yourself in those ways.
Yeah.
In other words, you just want to remember, what is it all about? What's it about? The only reason that you've come into this experience to explore this contrast, to give birth to that new desire, is because it is so much fun to move from wherever you are in the direction of the new desire. And the reason that you never get it done is because it's so much fun to move in the direction of the desire. And the reason that you never get it done is because it's so much fun to move in the direction of the desire. And the reason that you never get it done is because it's so much fun to move in the direction of the desire. So you got to stop saying, we got to get this done, because you're not ever going to get it done. Right. And you've got to stop assigning yourself as wrong wherever you are. You could assign yourself as, oh, I don't feel as good as I'd like to. You could assign yourself as, oh, this could be more fun than I'm letting it be right now. You could assign yourself to, but the whole point is for the exhilaration of molding it into place, you see. Nothing's ever wrong. It's just on its way to feeling better. And nothing's ever right, because nothing's ever done.
Right. I gotcha. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.